Here are today's top stories. President Duterte's war on drugs gets high satisfaction ratings in a recent survey by the social weather stations. Business process outsourcing companies welcome the possibility of implementing 4-day work weeks. And Baguio City is crowned again as the overall champion in the Batang Pinoy competitions. Good day, I'm William Theo.
And I'm Pia Roses Morato. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom.
Amid criticism from human rights groups and critics, majority of Filipinos showed satisfaction for the Duterte administration's campaign against drugs.
The government's drug war scored a higher rating from last year in a recent SWS survey. More on this from Rom Dulfo.
The campaign against illegal drugs of President Rodrigo Duterte continues to enjoy high net satisfaction ratings based on the latest Social Weather Stations or SWS survey. The 2018 SWS second quarter survey shows 78% of its respondents said they were satisfied with the relentless campaign against illegal drugs. On the other hand, 13% was dissatisfied, while 9% was undecided, resulting in a net satisfaction rating of plus 65%. The net satisfaction rating is a point higher compared to the same period last year, while it is 3% better compared to the 2018 first quarter survey. The President's war on drugs scored excellent or plus 84 net satisfaction rating in Mindanao. Presidential spokesman Harry Roque welcomed the survey, saying this proves that the drug war continues to enjoy broad support of our people. This despite the efforts of President Duterte's detractors to politicize the issue or discredit the campaign's success. Meanwhile, on claims that the arrest of tambays or loiterers is a violation of human rights, Roque said Duterte has already clarified he did not order arrests of the tambays. He said authorities have already issued guidelines that they would not bring to the police station those without violations. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Rom Dulfo.
Authorities have ordered a forced evacuation in Barangay Ukab in Itogon, Benguet amid threats of another landslide in the area. Northern Luzon Commander Lieutenant General Emmanuel Salamat says the Itogon LGU and the PNP reacted to warnings from the DENR and the Mines and Geosciences Bureau of a possible landslide. The number of rescue workers in the area has also been reduced, while the control point in the barangay hall was moved farther from the landslide area. Meanwhile, Malacanang is looking into the liability of the LGU as well as the mining companies in Barangay Ukab regarding the landslide. Presidential Political Advisor Francis Tolentino says the government believes the mining operations where the landslide took place was not small scale. The mining area not only has running water and electricity, but a backhoe used by larger mining companies was spotted there. Tolentino says a running community should not be present in a geohazard.
The Department of Interior and Local Government has issued show-cause orders against 16 mayors who were reported absent or missing during the onslaught of Typhoon Ompong. The ILG Assistant Secretary and spokesperson Jonathan Malaya says they have given the mayors 5 days from receipt to comment and explain on the matter. 9 of the mayors are from Region 2, while 7 are from the Cordillera Administrative Region. The DILG earlier issued an advisory for all mayors to be present in their respective areas once Ompong strikes. Under the Local Government Code, an elective local official may be disciplined, suspended, or removed from office for gross negligence, dereliction of duty, or misconduct in office. Malaya, meanwhile, said despite the reports of the absentee mayors, the vast majority of the mayors in Ilocos Region, Cagayan Valley, and Cordillera performed well.
The Filipino community in Beijing, China has organized a cash transfer donation to help provide assistance to victims of Typhoon Ompong. The Philcombe, a non-profit socio-civic group, managed to collect over 94,000 pesos in cash donations in just 2 days. The funds collected will be transferred to the Philippine Red Cross. Michelle Ramos, Philcombe core member, says the organization was overwhelmed by the support given not only by fellow Filipinos in China, but also by the Chinese people and foreigners. The Filipino community was recognized by the Philippine Embassy in China last year.
State lawyers are urging the Supreme Court to turn down the petition of Senator Antonio Trillanes on the voiding of his supposed amnesty granted to him by former President Benigno Aquino III. The Office of the Solicitor General pointed out that Trillanes prematurely went to the High Court for recourse while similar cases are pending in the Makati courts. It also stressed the threat that the senator would be detained without a warrant of arrest is more imagined than real. The top government counsel also underscored that the president is bound to faithfully execute all laws, including clemency powers. The Solicitor General noted misinterpretations in the amnesty claim by Trillanes, such as denying admission of guilt and attaching an unaccomplished application form that was not even notarized. Last September 11, the SC denied Trillanes' request for a temporary restraining order to block his arrest.
Still to come, business process outsourcing companies welcome the possibility of implementing 4-day work weeks. Mayor Sara Duterte Carpio chooses to continue serving Davao City despite her high rank in the list of senatorial candidates. These and more when the PNA Newsroom continues.
The Department of Justice has recommended the filing of charges against Chinese businessman Chen Julong, customs broker Mark Daguba, and 7 persons in connection with a 6.4 billion peso shipment of illegal drugs in 2017. The accused are facing charges of violation of the Customs Modernization and Tariffs Act. The DOJ upheld that the actions of the respondents showed conspiracy in bringing the shipment into the country. It added that the filing of the criminal case against respondents for importation of dangerous drugs under RA 9165 would not render the case moot and academic. Earlier, the Valenzuela Regional Trial Court denied the DOJ plea seeking to reverse the dismissal of charges of transport of illegal drugs against 9 persons. The accused still have to face trial for similar drug charges refiled by the government prosecutors before the Manila RTC.
The business process outsourcing industry is looking into the feasibility of implementing a compressed 4-day work week, which is likely to benefit call center workers and clients. Miguel Hill has the story.
A 4-day work week schedule can possibly be implemented in the business process outsourcing sector, according to stakeholders from the industry. This as the House of Representatives passed the compressed work week bill, setting work schedules for 12-hour, 4-day shifts. Teleperformance Philippines Senior Vice President for Human Capital Jeffrey Johnson said Some workers prefer a 4-day work week because the poor traffic and commuting situation in Metro Manila, where majority of BPO offices are located. He added that some clients would have certain days of the week with less call volume. Johnson said the bill is something that BPO companies can work around and evaluate. Some call center agents have also welcomed the 4-day workweek bill, saying that the compressed schedule can help them save on expenses, earn more money in their extra time, and promote a work-life balance. For the PNA Newsroom, I am Miguel Hill.
The Department of Information and Communications Technology, or DICT, and the National Telecommunications Commission has released the final guidelines in the selection of the country's third major telecommunications service provider. The new major player in the local telecommunications industry is expected to be selected by December. The DICT said a third telco player will be determined through a public bidding. The basis will be its financial and technical capability to deliver communication services using the highest committed level of service, or H-clause approach. The Philippine Competition Commission says the final guidelines will promote competition with the existing duopoly in providing quality communication services. Bidders must not be a related party to any dominant telco player. Participants must also have experience in the delivery of operations of telco services for the past 10 years on a nationwide scale. Interested parties can get bidding documents from the NTC and will be given until November 5 to submit their bid.
The special elections on the Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan in Marawi City on Saturday was peaceful and orderly despite a low turnout of voters. The Commission on Elections reported no failure of elections as all polling precincts opened and closed on time. Ray Sumalipao, acting provincial election supervisor in Lanao del Sur, credited the presence of government troops which deterred election-related violence. The Joint Task Force Ranao congratulated the security forces, election tellers, servers, observers, and the Maranao voting public. Colonel Romeo Bronner Jr., the Deputy Commander of the Joint Task Force Ranao, also noted that this is the first time in Marawi City that there were no election-related deaths. Sumalipao, however, said voters' turnout was low considering that many of the residents were not able to go back to their homes. Meanwhile, Marawi police foiled attempts of vote buying and flying voters.
Mayor Sara Duterte says she has chosen to continue serving Davao City amid talks about her entering the senatorial race in 2019. The mayor, however, thanked Filipinos for choosing her as one of the top senatorial bets. Mayor Sara was in the 5th spot of the 17 senatorial bets in a recent survey released by Pulse Asia. She followed incumbent Senators Grace Poe in the top spot, Cynthia Villar, Pia Cayetano, and Nancy Binay. In past senatorial surveys of Pulse Asia and the social weather station, Sara also landed in the top 10. In another survey conducted among 184 members of ruling party PDP Laban, Sara tied with Special Assistant to the President Bongo in 2nd place. Up next, the National Food Authority gives go signal for the importation of 100,000 metric tons of rice. Baguio City is crowned again as the overall champion in the Batang Pinoy competitions. The PNA Newsroom returns after these reminders.
Preceding the simulation proper, the training participants undergone through series of orientation and preparedness drills that made them ready for scene replication and later on be equipped during the actual execution of Second Cambisita. OCD ARMM Security Risk Assessment Officer Janicio M. Mondejar Jr. felt being fulfilled becoming part of the LRM team. Moreover, the objective of the simulation is to improve the data collection performances of the enumerators, interviewers, and surveyors involved in the land mapping. Despite the painstaking and careful preparation for second Cambisita execution, at least the LRM team is open for the arguments on the overlapping of territorial boundaries among the Maa residents, but apt to resolve the land issues and concerns as much as possible. Furthermore, DENR will serve as implementing body on land resource management, solid waste management, and debris management in Maa, together with Laid Kabagani for PNA Newsroom, Sweet Lukman, Philippine Information Agency.
The National Food Authority has given the go signal to 21 suppliers to import about 100,000 metric tons of rice for Zamboanga, Basilan, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi or Zazamba Sulta area. The Land Bank and NFA Council held an auction under the Minimum Access Volume Scheme for crop year 2017 to 2018. The imports meant to boost supplies in Zamba Sulta are expected to arrive from October 1st to November 30. 3 private companies won the bidding to import 20,000 metric tons of rice, while 18 farmer cooperatives will import the rest following the 20-80% ratio under the auction's terms of reference.
In foreign news, Vietnamese President Tran Dai Quang passed away due to a serious illness on Friday morning at the age of 61. Malacanang has sent its condolences for Quang's death. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque says President Rodrigo Duterte recalls the warmth and hospitality extended by the Vietnamese leader. Duterte visited Vietnam in 2016 and again during its hosting of the APEC summit in 2017. State media reported that President Quang died at the military hospital in Hanoi from a lingering illness. Quang was born on October 12, 1956. The former career policeman became the Minister of Public Security in 2011 and was elected President of Vietnam in 2016. His official term was due to end in 2021.
Baguio City retained its championship title at the closing of the Batang Pinoy National Championships. The host city harvested 83 gold, 81 silver, and 197 bronze medals, defending its overall title it held in the last edition of the event staged by Tagum City, Davao del Norte in 2016. Cebu pocketed 36 gold, 40 silver, and 44 bronze medals for second place, while Laguna Province collected 34, 13, and 31 for third. Quezon City and Pangasinan took 4th and 5th place. Commissioner Celia Kiram of the Philippine Sports Commission declared the 5-day sports competition closed in a ceremony at the Baguio Athletic Bowl. The ceremony ended with the release of some 500 balloons, with the blue balloons signifying peace and unity through sports and white for the victims of the wrath of Typhoon Ompong in northern Luzon.
Several young artists from Calamba, Laguna proved that nationalism burns fervently in their hearts in a local art contest.
They showcased their artworks in honor of the birthplace of national hero Dr. Jose Rizal. More on this from Maricor Zapata.
Each working on a 4x8 plywood canvas with acrylic paint and spray paint materials, 9 millennial homegrown muralists dubbed up their artworks promoting Calamba City's culture and heritage. The artists slugged it out in an 8-hour on-the-spot art painting competition last Thursday. The tilt was sponsored by the city government in partnership with the National Historical Commission and the Museo ni Jose Rizal sa Calamba. Grand prize winner Marben Correa's theme was Progress in Calamba, featuring the Rizal Ancestral House Shrine at the center of his art piece. He depicted the continuous growth of tourism and productivity in the city. Second placer Alvin Manalo said he was inspired by his 4-month-old baby and wife. Galbert Olaes, meanwhile, took home the third prize. 6 other consolation prize winners received financial assistance from the city government. Larissa Malinaw, head of the City Cultural Affairs, Tourism, and Sports Development Department, said the art competition is part of the city's celebration of the World Tourism Month this September. The masterpieces will form part of the city's heritage collections. UP Los Baños Professor for Arts and Humanities and Arts columnist Paul Zaffaralla praised a millennial artist, saying Philippine national hero Dr. Rizal was there to serve as inspiration and role model. Zaffaralla advised the young artist to keep the fire burning as the city of Calamba gives artists a lot of opportunities. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Maricor Zapata.
Let's now check out the weather forecast for Metro Manila and the rest of the country. Here's another look at today's top stories. President Duterte's war on drugs gets high satisfaction ratings in a recent survey by the social weather stations. Business process outsourcing companies welcome the possibility of implementing 4-day work weeks. And Baguio City is crowned again as the overall champion in the Batang Pinoy competitions. Thank you for watching another edition of the PNA Newsroom. To check out these and other stories, visit the PNA website or follow the Philippine News Agency on Facebook and Twitter.
For more stories about the government and how it serves the Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites.
And that's your daily dose of the latest news
And information that you need to know. From the PNA Newsroom, I'm William Theo.
And I'm Pia Rosas Morato. Good day.